All right, for those of you watching on YouTube, this is my review of Staysafetv video. I saw this morning. He's asking the question, when is Wrath of the Lich King coming out? And I think a lot of us are anticipating when it could be coming out. I think I originally thought that it was going to come out early next year, and then they started rushing through content in Burning Crusade. They came out with ZA super fast. And then suddenly they came out with Sunwell not too long after that. And suddenly everyone was like, oh crap, it's going to come out a lot sooner. When Sunwell was launched, I was thinking November. And then suddenly they did some other things, beta, all that sort of stuff. Now I'm firmly believing that it's probably going to come out sometime in September. So we'll have to see what Staysafetv has to say. Anyways, enjoy the video. I'll probably be pausing it at some point to make some comments. And I'll make some final observations at the end.
Listen, today, let's have a quick talk about kind of the state of the Wrath beta and
Like the State of the Union address here.
why I still think, despite some of the hopium or despite some of the copium, whatever you want to call it, why I think that Wrath is probably not going to come out until October, and I would guess a Wrath pre-patch and probably September. Some people are like, oh, maybe it'll be out by the end of August. No shot. I've spent a ton of time playing the Wrath beta, and there are a ton of bugs. There are a ton of issues, and the rate at which Blizzard is fixing these issues is really not so fast. So the first thing, Ice Crown, the zone Ice Crown, the leveling zone, is like 99 or 95. It's pretty much unplayable. You can't really quest up there. The quest chains are broken. So like one entire zone on the beta that people are going to want to be leveling in or farming rep in or completing quests and whatever is just dysfunctional.
First of all, I should preface this video by saying I do have access to beta, but I haven't been playing it very much, simply because I'm rushing to get my mage leveled up. That's going to be my new main. So I'm a little surprised that I didn't know that there was all these bugs and stuff like that. I've watched other streamers play the beta, and this is kind of the first time I've heard of all these bugs.
So they need to fix pretty much the entire zone. Second to that, somewhere between 1 and 10% of quests in like every zone is also are buggy and broken. So for example, there are several quests in Dragonblight that are buggy and broken, like the Wrathgate, for example, in Dragonblight. There are some quests in Howling Fjord. There's I don't know, 5 to 10 quests in every zone that are non-functional, which is also a big problem if you're trying to do like the Lore Master achievement or level, I don't know, so if you're trying to just like level normally, you're going to experience these buggy quests that are not working. I've seen it firsthand. So that's another thing, and a lot of them just have not been fixed yet. Beyond that, Blizzard committed to buffing heroic dungeons, because right now, a lot of people are doing heroics in the beta. The heroics are really easy. Everyone knows Wrath of the Lich King heroics are really, really infamously easy. And so Blizzard came out and said, hey, we understand heroics are really easy in Wrath, so we're going to buff them.
You guys think
I'm not sure in what way.
You guys think that they should buff heroics, though? Like, here we are now. I know Blizzard said, we made a little bit of changes, but we think that we need to make more changes in Wrath. Do you really think that they need to, or is this just Blizzard putting their hands in something? Like, look what happened when they made changes to Season of Mastery and how much they destroyed the game. Right? Like, the whole reason that we wanted to come back and play Classic is because we wanted to play the game as it was. And we've seen what Blizzard does when they start making changes to a game. They can't help themselves, and they always fuck it up. It's like, it's nonstop. Like Season of Mastery. We even said, I posted a video about it like a month and a half before Season of Mastery came out. When they announced the changes that they were going to make for Season of Mastery, I said, no, you can't do this because it's going to screw things up. You can't have a 1-year timeline because people can't keep up. Like all these other things that we posted in a video that I think I released it like October 1st or something like that. And now here's Blizzard again making changes. And they don't, I think it's like Blizzard just doesn't understand that when they make changes, it actually like has other effects on the game that, adversely affect the gameplay. And they just can't help themselves. If given a choice between A and B and one's a good decision, like A is a good decision and B is a bad decision, they will choose B every single time. It is unbelievable.
they're going to buff them. Probably just they're going to give all the trash and all the bosses some more HP and do a little bit more damage. I'm not sure, but they have to buff them still. That takes time. They've got to do that. They said they would do it, and it hasn't happened yet. So that's something that needs to happen. They also have not done, I'm going to skip to number 5 here. They haven't done any raid testing. Prior to TBC coming out, they had like sort of a, I think everyone could make a raid testing character on the beta. It was like a little stress test raid testing day. They did that.
This is true, actually. They have not done any raid testing. That's actually pretty right on. Your guess would be pre-patch would be mid-August, lines up with server consolidation and making new servers. That's when you think pre-patch would be, so that some people are saying that the pre-patch is going to be like 6 weeks long now. Like that's ridiculous. 6 weeks long now. No, keep it like it was. I think they should make the game stupid hard overall. It would bring no excitement for free. Now, dude, you know what? People would quit. If it was that hard, you'd have people quit. That's one of the reasons why, like, when Sunwell was really difficult, they had to, like, nerf a bunch of stuff because guilds were falling apart and canceling and canceling their subscriptions. I mean, there's still guilds that are not clearing Sunwell. Like, they're getting frustrated. People are quitting the game. They're done. So that's the problem. Like, you've got to kind of, you can't focus the game or gameplay on the top 5% of players, right? Like you've got to allow everybody else the ability to actually play the game. Even though we might be good players, some people think I'm shit, but that's fine. But you've got to be able to have people be able to actually play the game. Otherwise, people just the huge majority of people are actually casual players. Remember that. Like those of us that play the game all the time, we're clearing Sunwell in the first couple of weeks or whatever. We're not casuals. Okay, the casual players are probably making up 75% of the player base or more, and those players can't keep up. And if you lose those players, you'll lose a ton of money. And unfortunately, that's what the game revolves around, right? Probably not buff heroics right at the start when they get gear. When they do. Well, as you get gear, the heroics become naturally like nerfed anyways. As you get better gear, it just becomes super simple. Like we steamroll through Sunwell now. It took us a couple of weeks to get through the bosses, but as you get better gear when you're going through heroics, eventually you start start killing it. So you don't really need to nerf it, right? Bit harder won't help, otherwise we will get bored pretty fast. Link my 100 parses, dude. They're all posted. I got 99s. I got 99s, man. That sounds like a them problem, right? There's a balance. Well, I never clearing all the. I see you're more of an expert than I am. It's an outside perspective. I'm just saying, like as an MMO, they have to cater to the masses. That's massively multiplayer, right? They have to cater to the masses, not to the top 5% or whatever you consider yourself to be, a 1% or something, right? So that's basically what I'm saying. Anyways.
A couple times on the TBC beta where kind of like everyone could log in and test the raids and report bugs, and they haven't done any of that yet. So we have to do, excuse me, I'm kind of getting over COVID. We have to do VOA testing, Vault of Archon, Malagos testing, Obsidian Sanctum testing, and Next Ramus testing. They haven't done any of that yet. All of the raids are still closed. No one has done any of the raids on the beta. So that's something they have to do. Also, they said beyond that they're going to be buffing Next Ramus. They haven't buffed Next Ramus yet because we haven't even done the raid testing yet. So they've got to do all of that. They've got to actually buff the raid. They've got to test the buffs they've made to the raid. We have to test it for them. Haven't done any of that. They also haven't done any PvP testing on the TBC beta. They had template characters. They wanted people queuing arena and testing, the way spells, like spell interact.
That's a lot of rating, actually, that they do have to beta test. He makes a good point. That's a lot of raid testing that they still have to do. That alone is going to take weeks.
And so we were queuing arena a ton on the TBC beta, and that has not happened. That has not happened yet either. So they need to do template character PvP testing. Otherwise, there's going to be weird little annoying bugs that pop up. So they need to do PvP testing also. Also, beyond that, they really don't have a solution for Wintergrasp yet. I think that I saw a data mine suggesting that they were going
Wintergrasp is screwed. Hold on, he's gonna say what they're about to do. I want to actually hear this. But what do you do with Wintergrasp? What do you do with Wintergrasp on Fairlena or Benediction? Hold on.
To effectively turn Wintergrasp into an instanced battleground, which is something like that is probably the best solution. It's probably the only solution to dealing with Wintergrasp in the current state of the of the TBC servers, where it's super mega servers, tons of people on each server. Wintergrasp only accommodated. Wintergrasp was back in the day 100 Alliance versus 100 Horde, 100 versus 100. There was a player cap on Wintergrasp. And so, given that servers these days are, with the exception of 1 or 2 servers, given that servers are insanely faction, you have servers like Firemaw or Gehennis or Fairlena or Benediction, that most people are playing on these super faction, one-sided, lopsided, super faction dominant servers. How do you have, if you have 31,000 active players on a server, active Alliance players on a server, how do you say, hey, only 100 of you can do Wintergrasp every 3 or 4 hours? Oh, and by the way, there's no Horde on your server, so have fun. Doesn't really work. It just doesn't.
Just a little side bit here. I've been talking about this on stream for the last couple of days, and I'm actually kind of seriously thinking about it, of actually transferring one of my Horde alts over to Benediction, and just with a few friends, and see if I can rile up like 20 people or something like that to start and get some excitement for people to go over there, just to bring an alt, not really focusing on raiding or anything like that, but just purely for PvP. Just PvP purposes, and see if we can build up like a small army, starting with like 20 people. If I can get like 20 people that are interested in it, and then build from there. Same thing that we did sort of on Heartseeker, where it was like 5 people, and then our guild like built up to something like 2 full raids on Heartseeker, which was 99% Alliance, and we were playing Horde, and we actually recruited enough people to have 2 full raids basically at one point. That's sort of what I'm thinking, is building up a little bit of armory. I think it would be kind of fun. I know World PvP is kind of blah in TBC and Wrath, not just because of the faction imbalance, but because you can use flying to get away and all that sort of stuff. But I think it might be fun just to be a little bit of an asshole and lock down places like summoning stones and, in front of raids and stuff like that, just to, I don't know, something different, because otherwise all we're going to be doing is literally just raiding. Like, there's nothing else really to do. I guess you got arenas and battlegrounds and stuff like that, but there's no actual excitement out in the world. I thought it would be kind of a nice thing to do as a change of pace. I probably wouldn't be leveling, doing my PvP character on Fairlena. I'd probably transfer over a mage to Benediction, and then the group as a guild would queue up for battlegrounds and stuff like that together, and then go out and do world PvP. We wouldn't be getting any gear from raiding or anything like that. All of our gear would be gotten through PvP. I think it would be kind of interesting. Anyways, just a side little tidbit.
Doesn't really work that well. So I think they've got to make it a battleground. But that's just a data mine that someone picked out, that they're maybe going to make it a.
Sorry, here's a how do private servers handle Wintergrasp? I've never played a Wrath private server, so I have no idea. I played plenty of vanilla ones, but never a Wrath one. I don't know that there's been any private servers that have actually had this situation where it's like 100% one faction. So I have no idea. A longer pre-patch wouldn't hurt for us going fresh. Don't have that much time to play anymore, and want to level as much as possible before the XP buff. This is true. I didn't really consider that, but that's true. But yeah, I don't know how private servers handled Wintergrasp. I really don't know. I never played a Wrath private server.
An instanced battleground style situation. They haven't even addressed it publicly. Blizzard hasn't said what they're going to do. So whatever they do, they've got to put it on the beta, and we've got to test it. And so anyway, oh, and also beyond this, Blizzard enabled add-ons the other day on the beta, yesterday or 2 days ago. So now Questy, the add-on, is working on the beta, which is great. But in Wrath, there was supposed to be an integrated quest helper, which is not currently there. I don't know if that's going to be there by the time Wrath comes out.
I've got a question. If how I don't know how this would work. Chat, stay with me for a second here. Could you do Wintergrasp as cross server, so that the Horde on Fairlena were facing the Alliance on Benediction? And then that way, if the Horde on Ferlina won, both Wintergrasp and on Benediction and on Ferlina were held by Horde. Does that make sense? Do you think you could do that? Because the problem though is there's going to be some Horde on Wintergrasp, but maybe you could just be on the same team or whatever. I wonder if that would work. Let me know what you guys think. Those of you that are watching the YouTube video, let me know in the comments below.
But either way, if they want it to be there, they've got to fix it because it's not there now. And so anyway, the point of this conversation, there are a lot of problems with the Wrath beta that they need to work through. And so if you're hoping that Wrath is going to come out, that we're going to have pre-patch in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and that after a couple weeks of pre-patch, we're going to have full release Wrath, there is so much they have to do. And the beta's been up already for 3 weeks. And very little has gotten done, by the way. The beta's been up for 3 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, and really not a lot has been corrected. So I kind of feel like maybe the Wrath beta is not their priority. They obviously just released the Dragonflight Alpha today. Maybe resources are kind of sparse right now. But yeah, I don't think that Wrath is going to come out prior to October. That's my suspicion. I could be wrong, but just looking at the state of the beta and everything that has to be done, everything that has yet to be tested, all the bugs that are still there that have yet to be fixed, I think it's going to be a while. But I don't know. I hope it's soon, because I think the end of TBC now it's kind of dragging on, right? I think people are getting kind of bored of TBC.
Getting old.
But
getting real old.
I don't think it will be. I hate to say it. Anyway, that's that. Those are my thoughts on the Wrath beta right now.
All right, chat. So, I guess after watching his video, he's actually had me change my thoughts. I didn't even think about the fact that they hadn't even started testing raids and stuff like that. And there's several raids that they have to actually test before it comes out. And they're making adjustments to Nax as well. So they've got to get it up and make the adjustments and have people test it and then have them make final adjustments and stuff like that. So they've actually got quite a few. And I didn't even know about all the questing bugs and stuff like that in zones that aren't even working and stuff like that. So that's the first I've heard of that. But I mean, he wouldn't just be throwing that in there. So that's kind of interesting. I think if I was to, the video was really good, actually, by the way. He made a lot of points that I didn't even consider before, specifically things that weren't working and things that need to be tested. After watching the video, I would probably, like, originally, I think I said as the video started that I thought it was going to come out sometime in September. I think at the very earliest, it'll be late September now. October might seem a little bit more, but every time I say this, though, Blizzard pushes something through super fast. And they've already said that Dragonflight is coming out by the end of the year. I just don't see them bringing out Classic Wrath in November and then having Dragonflight coming in December. I just don't see that happening. Although having said that, in Classic Vanilla, didn't they come out with like Nax a week after or a week before Shadowlands or something like that? Like, it was just absurd, the timing. So maybe they just don't care. But I think that they're going to still try and push it to be early September. I think we're still looking for September. So I'll stick with that. I think it's going to be sometime mid-September, I'll call it third week of September is my official time of when I think that I'll come out with it. Anyways, if you enjoyed this review video, please do me a favor, like, subscribe down below. I will be doing reviews quite regularly on my channel. If you want, you can tune in to twitch.tv/Alodar. I stream from 9 p.m. Eastern until basically the wee hours of the morning, Tuesday to Sunday. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.